boom, ta. He wasn't good at drum loops. He wouldn't have been very good playing behind a rap artist. But many years after his death, I wondered, you know, because I always hated trying to keep up with him on the stage. I thought, what is it about him that I miss most? And what I found that I missed most was he was an orchestral drummer. He took my playing and he took my songs and he accented what needed to be accented. He created explosions of energy where it was appropriate, and when it wasn't appropriate, he pretended to be an idiot and played every drum quiet. On the other hand, we had John Entwistle, who did not play the bass. He did something else. He played, his bass sound was, when he was playing, was incredibly eloquent. I'm talking about, he played the bass when the band started, but his sound unfolded over the years. So around the time of Quadrophenia, he was playing a sound that was full of harmonics, it was rich, and his fingerings were very complex. He hadn't started tapping yet, but he was certainly playing very, very fast. So I was the drummer on guitar, I played the drums, and I was working, and I should mention Roger because I think Love Rain on Me, not the vocal performance, but the track was recorded before I even started to go into the studio and work with Quadrophenia, with them. And so, knowing that I had that song in the bag, I knew that I could finish this story, because it would finish anything. You know, I thought this Love Rain on Me would close a story about anything. But at the end of the recording, I got Roger to go out, and my mission was, I remember saying to him, Roger, I want you to sing this, because I produced the album, I want you to sing this with heart, with passion, you know, sensitively. And he went out and he yelled like a banshee. And I was about to go out and say to him, Roger, I asked you to sing it with passion and sensitivity. And Ron Neverson, the engineer, said, Pete, listen to it first. And he listened to it, and I thought, he's nailed it. He's nailed it. So, in a sense, for me, the Quadrophenia album was already orchestral. You know, we had John Entwistle, who was an orchestrally trained French horn player, playing horn parts. I just really got deeply into synthesizers around the time of the album that preceded it, the Lifehouse album. I knew exactly how to make all the sounds that I wanted to make. Orchestral sounds, violins and cellos and horns and God knows what else, oboes. And so it was orchestral already. So in a sense, listening to what Rachel had done, some of it was very faithful to that. But where she had used, certainly, you know, you say you've never done it before, it must be an innate skill, was the sense that it was the right shape, the right depth. It's not correct to say that nothing has been added and nothing has been taken away, because of course it's very, very different. But it's true, I think, it's true.
So one more question from me and then we'll go to you guys, but Quadrophenia, you've visited and revisited this piece over and over. You know, you've toured it, remixed it several times, there was the film, there was the tour back again, concert version, now this. What is it about this piece and this material that keeps calling you back?
I want to correct you there. I haven't remixed it. I haven't made a film of it. I haven't done a theatre show of it. I've licensed a few of these things, and the thing that I have done is just before we started on this project, is I did what I would call a director's cut. I gathered, and I wanted to write about Quadrophenia. So some of the things that I'm saying now, if you happen to have the director's cut, you will see because it's in the text. I talk about it. I wanted to celebrate Quadrophenia as a project and demonstrate, in a sense, how the rock system had saved Quadrophenia from being the most unbelievably cumbersome and dodgy music theatre piece. Because if I'd have included all the songs that I could have included had it not been on vinyl, it would have been dreadful. And in fact, you know, it works very, very well because it's such a tour de force. But coming back to it this time, as I said earlier, this was not an attempt to further its little career. You know, it just, somebody from Deutsche Grammophon, in fact the president, Mark Wilkinson, heard the demo recordings that we'd done He said, you've got a deal. That's how it happened. And he wanted it. And moreover, orchestras want it. Already, anybody that leads an orchestra, the musicians in the background, whether or not the classical audiences will want it is another story, but the hope is that orchestras will perform this and that it will become part of the popular repertoire of many theatres around the world. And I think the first guy that showed an interest, it was not the conductor, but the manager of the Atlanta Symphony. And he was saying this will bring new people into the theatre, whether they're young, whether they're old, whether they love classical music already or not. It will bring new people into our concert hall, and it could just save our bacon. Because at the moment, a lot of concert halls and orchestras are struggling to bring in and hold on to a subscription audience that are, believe it, getting old. So all those old people who grew up with quadrophenia, they don't have to suffer going to Forest Hills. No, seriously. They can put on a nice coat and tie, and they can go to the symphony hall, and they can sit in a comfortable chair, and maybe even have a drink in the intermission if Rachel lets us have an intermission, and have a lovely night out. And hopefully they will get the same message from this music that our audiences have been getting for a long time, which is, there is hope. There is hope, even if you're on a rock in the rain, there is hope.
I myself am looking forward to suffering through Forest Hills tomorrow night, but maybe I'm not. The microphone is our friend over here, so let's get